Welcome back to Talking Elvis. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel. It's free to subscribe and it gives me encouragement to keep going. After I posted the video about collecting and dating Elvis photographs, I received a message from Marcy, who's a subscriber here. And Marcy asked about Elvis's benefit show in 1961. She was asking if there are any photographs of it. Indeed, there are, and I'll share some here. The show took place at the Ellis Auditorium in Memphis, and I thought looking at Elvis and the Ellis Auditorium would actually be a pretty cool subject. It's an important venue. I'm very familiar with it. I'd been a few times. But going into my database and typing Ellis Auditorium, I was reminded of how many times Elvis was actually there. It's pretty significant. It was built in 1924 and originally called the Memphis Auditorium and Market House. Later renamed the Ellis Auditorium after civic leader Robert Ellis. Situated in downtown Memphis, not far at all from Lauderdale Courts. It has a long history with Elvis. From the 1940s all the way through to the 1970s, Elvis attended gospel jamborees there. J.D. Sumner often cited the fact that Elvis would be allowed in for free, thanks to J.D. when he was around 13 years old. Along with Ace Richman, Horace Floyd, and Eddie Wallace, J.D. Sumner was a member of the Sunshine Boys. It's quite something when you think about 13-year-old Elvis not being able to afford a ticket. One can only wonder how Elvis felt when he went there in the 1970s, recalling all the times he visited the Ellis Auditorium prior to being the king of rock and roll. Unfortunately, the auditorium was demolished in 1999, but I was fortunate enough to visit it a couple of times. And I do recall us only being in one part of the auditorium. They had some system that would close half of it off. I wish I could remember why I went there. It was either there or the Mid-South Coliseum that I went to see James Blackwood, a hero to Elvis. I'll put my hand up and be very honest, I thought he was awful. He just sounded completely out of tune the whole time.
When we live a million years in that wonderful place, basking in the love of Jesus, beholding his face, it will seem just a moment of praising his grace. That will be a glad reunion day.
It's well documented that Elvis, in fact, the Presleys were big fans of the Blackwood brothers. And as I said, James Blackwood was a hero to Elvis. For decades, the Ellis Auditorium was a really important venue in Memphis. There were sporting events, there was wrestling, there were concerts, religious gatherings. If something significant was going on in Memphis, there was a good chance it was taking place at the Ellis Auditorium. Elvis's relationship with the Ellis Auditorium spans many different situations in his life. It is quite a connection. We know he was going in the late 40s, early 1950s to the gospel revivals, I guess they were called. And they would normally span over 2 or 3 days. It wasn't uncommon for Elvis to go to all the shows. Dixie Locke has stated that Elvis and her would go to all the monthly revivals at Ellis. Elvis did go as far as to audition for the Songfellows, only to be rejected. Dixie said Elvis was deeply hurt about that. On the 30th of June 1954, 2 members of the Blackwood brothers were killed in a plane crash. The funeral was the next day at the Ellis Auditorium. Dixie and Elvis went. After being signed by Sam Phillips and releasing his first singles on Sun and becoming somewhat of a local celebrity. Before signing to RCA, before the television appearances, Elvis, Scotty and Bill played the Ellis Auditorium on the 6th of February 1955. I'm very thankful we have a lot of photographs of Elvis at the auditorium. This was the Elvis that Memphis knew, a hometown boy, still accessible. It would have been a pretty big deal for him to play there just 8 years or so after being let in for free by J.D. Sumner. This time they were paying him. Here is Elvis again from 1955. This one was taken on the 19th of December. He's back again the next year on the 15th of May, where he is the headline for Bob Neal's Cotton Pickin' Jamboree. By this time, Elvis is no longer just a local success. He's a star throughout the country. He's back there again in July of 1956 when he attends an all-night gospel program. And according to Brian Peterson in his book Elvis the Atomic Powered Singer, Elvis sings 2 songs with the Statesman Quartet. He sings Jesus Filled My Every Need and You'll Never Walk Alone. We have several photographs of Elvis from 1956 with black artists at Ellis Auditorium. Keep in mind, the auditorium was segregated. The Jim Crow era in Memphis would see one of the balconies specifically for black people. Never the two should meet. It didn't matter to Elvis. Gospel music was a huge part of Elvis's life. And if there was a gospel event going on and Elvis was in town, you can be sure that he would have been there. Elvis shows up there again in 1956 to congratulate the class who have just graduated at Humes High School, Elvis's former school. Here is a photo with James Blackwood, Jackie Marshall, DJ Sumner, Mark Blackwood and Elvis, taken at the auditorium on the 23rd of March 1957. Just days after arriving home from Germany in March 1960, Elvis goes to the Ellis Auditorium again and watches the Holiday on Ice show. Afterwards, he invites everybody back to Graceland. On the 25th of February 1961, Elvis would perform 2 shows, one in the afternoon and one in the evening. The proceeds for the shows went to local charities. Although Elvis was released from the army in March 1960, it wasn't until February 1961 that he would perform. Perhaps it's fitting that that first performance was at the Ellis Auditorium. 1 month later, he's in Hawaii for the USS Arizona benefit concert. And then that would be it until the 31st of July 1969. No more concerts. And in fact, it would be not until 1974 that Elvis would appear live in his hometown. Prior to the afternoon show, which started at 3 p.m, Elvis attends a luncheon at the nearby Claridge Hotel in downtown Memphis. It's declared Elvis Presley Day in Memphis, and RCA present Elvis with a diamond-studded watch for selling 75 million records.
It was a night
what a night, was it really was such a night. When we kissed, I had to fall in love.
If, like me, you're a fan of this era, I can't recommend this book enough. I mentioned the David English books before. This is one of my favorites as well. Memphis to Nashville, 1961. It's a fantastic book with lots of stunning photographs. There is one change in the set list for the evening show. He drops Doing the Best I Can. So as far as I'm aware, it's the one and only time he ever sang it live. And he replaces it with Swing Down Sweet Chariot. He's seen again at the Auditorium in the summer of 1961, just prior to filming Follow That Dream. I have this photograph, and the woman in the picture is named as Parish Sumner. I can't find anything about her. A relative of JD, perhaps? And here he is again, this time on the 9th of March, 1962. I'm not sure what's going on. Somebody teaching Elvis how to knit. On the 15th of October, 1970, he goes to see the Blackwood Brothers. It must be a weekend gospel revival, because he goes back on the 17th. On the 15th of January 1971, Elvis leaves Las Vegas and flies to Memphis. He doesn't go to Graceland, he goes to the Holiday Inn. It would be where the prayer breakfast took place as Elvis accepted his award as being one of the most 10 outstanding young men in America. Arguably, to Elvis, the biggest achievement he ever received. He was incredibly proud of the award. He wore the medal and carried the statue for months after. The breakfast took place from 8 a.m. until 9:15, and then at 10 o'clock there was a forum at the Holiday Inn. There is a luncheon at 12:30 p.m. and later, shortly before 5 p.m, there is a dinner at the Four Flames restaurant on Poplar Avenue. At 8 p.m, the award ceremony takes place at the Ellis Auditorium, and it is where Elvis gives the most heartfelt speech he will ever do.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank the JCs for electing me as one of the outstanding young men. When I was a child, ladies and gentlemen, I was a dreamer. I read comic books and I was the hero of the comic book. I saw movies and I was the hero in the movie. So every dream that I ever dreamed has come true 100 times. And these gentlemen over here, you see these type people who care, who are dedicated, you realize that it's not possible that they might be building the kingdom of heaven. It's not too far-fetched in reality. I'd like to say that I learned very early in life that without a song, the day would never end. Without a song, a man ain't got a friend. Without a song, the road would never bend. Without a song. So I'll keep singing a song. Good night. Thank you.
I mentioned that the Ellis was host to many events, and one person Elvis very much admired was Muhammad Ali. On the 8th of March 1971, Ali's fight with Joe Frazier was broadcast to the Ellis Auditorium, and Elvis went along to watch it. The fight was broadcast from Madison Square Garden in New York, and Joe Frazier won the fight. The last photographs that I have of Elvis here is from July 1972 at another gospel convention. The Ellis Auditorium was demolished in 1999, so I'm really pleased I did get a chance to go. It's now called the Cook Convention Center of Performing Arts. It's a new building, but it's on the same site. I may have missed something out. If I have, do let me know. But this is my little look at Elvis and the connection between him and the Ellis Auditorium downtown Memphis. I'm going to finish with this because I know Elvis would love it. Happy New Year.
Heavenly love was all that could help me. I was astray, so sad and alone. I looked above, my burdens don't let me. Now I can say, it's my home. Heavenly love, the love of home, lifting above, for he is my sword and shield. Of her so often o'ertake me, burdens of life with heartache and care. Heavenly love will never forsake me, filling my need. Jesus is there. Heavenly love, the love of my Lord, lifting above, for he is my sword and shield, giving me life. River, shadows of night are gathering above. There is a power